Barry, live, Barry! Live! Fight! Go!
Barry is dead. You don't know who Barry is. Let me elucidate you. Barry is a character from Onmir the Oddity, and Onmir the Oddity is a series created by Depra. It's very, very cool, and you should read it. Barry died in chapter 12 after a harrowing fight between this bitch. I can't say that. Barry died in a harrowing fight between a gang of Omners. I read chapter 12 and I felt fine. Chapter 12, it felt pretty hype. Although Barry was talking like Anakin Skywalker about reaching the rank of master. He would escape with Emily, he would reach it, but first, you didn't fight the third guy who's squaring up against you. Unless, like, he drew upon his experience between Knife Girl and Shahoon, he was not going to win. I love the detailed combat of Onmir the Oddity. You can tell Depra, they really invest a lot of time and energy and research into the fight scenes, which I really appreciate as a sword nerd. And due to that, I was able to understand, hey, why is Barry losing? Why is he dying so much?
He refuses to stab, goddammit.
Barry's movements are way too wide. He's swinging his arms around like a traffic controller. His enemies are taking advantage of that because they have more variety in their fighting style. The female Omner, she was practically orbiting Barry. Barry had so many opportunities to kill the first opponent he squared up against. Back in chapter 10, like right here, all he had to do was just stab forward. Okay, the female Omner, who I call Knife Girl, she dodges Barry's attacks with ease. Barry almost died to Shahoon because the latter had tighter movement. Here, you can see Shahoon is thrusting the point of his blade into Barry's head, and the only reason why Barry didn't die was due to attacking despite the incoming thrust and being healed by Emily. Emily's the MVP. In a video by the Modern Rogue, a rapier practitioner said the master of cutting will lose to the master of thrusting.
He who masters the cut and he who masters the thrust, if they were to fence each other, the person who masters the thrust is always going to come out on top.
And you can see that applied to Barry. He's wasting his energy on wider telegraphed movements. If he is not outright dodged, then the arc of his attack is intercepted and he enters a bind where the enemy gets closer to him. And we all know what happens when an enemy gets closer to you. And the Shahoon and the Knife Girl, they take advantage of that because they have precise movements. Let's imagine energy like ink. Barry is wasting his energy by drawing commas. His previous opponents were saving their energy by drawing periods, but still using their ink on the page that is Barry's armored body. If they did use cuts and strikes, they used it in conjunction with their stabs and orbital footwork. Shahoon lost because he stood too damn still, and his superior won because she was like a goddamn hawk, flying around a pigeon. Barry is that pigeon. I came to understand this when watching a YouTube channel called Let's Ask Seki Sensei. They were practicing with a European-based weapon, a rapier, and seeing how it would mesh well with their martial arts. And they learned something very interesting. To defeat thrust-oriented martial art styles, you either have to engage in the same style yourself or counter it with stronger cutting motions, like aiming for the weapon itself and then attacking the wielder.
やっぱり一番オーソドックスなのは、突き流し突きだよね。こういう。こういう。だから日本の剣術家が例えば切ってくるとかね、こう回避しながらタイミングで突くとかね、ついて引くとかそういうことになるんじゃないですかね。突き見えないかもね。いや怖い怖い怖い。怖い怖い怖い。分かった分かった分かった。見えないからあんまりね大きい動作で打たない方がいいかもしれない。だからこっちも突きと小切りしか使えない。っていうことは強度で勝負する部分も必要になるかもしれない。わざわざこうやっといてだ。あんまやりたくねえな。チクチクチクチク出血しそうで。
Because Barry died, I'm trying to look for ways he could have won. Barry could have done the same thing that he did with Shahoon, and he could have sacrificed himself against the Grenadier Omner and be healed by Emily. Obviously, that didn't work, so what went wrong? Well, she was running low on mana. She didn't have the energy to heal anyone anymore. What they should have done was they should have had a squad of village warriors gank the Omner and allow Barry to deal the finishing blow. But that didn't happen because of this guy. Due to Agra Depera's skill in depicting fights in their webcomic, it gave me the ability to dissect the scenes and envision diverse ways in which these scenarios could play out.